Have you ever read a story and thought, why would anyone do that? And then, awkward pause, you realize you've done the same thing in real life. That moment is exactly where the psychological approach in literary criticism begins. This approach isn't obsessed with fancy words or complicated theories. It asks one basic question: what's happening inside the mind of the character, or even the writer? Instead of focusing only on plot or style, psychological criticism looks at emotions, fears, desires, and hidden motivations. It treats characters like real people, with messy thoughts and emotional baggage, which honestly makes them much more interesting. Think about it. Characters rarely act logically. They fall for the wrong person. They repeat the same mistakes. They ignore obvious warning signs. Sounds familiar, right? Psychology-based critics say these actions aren't random. They're driven by inner conflicts, past experiences, or unconscious desires. This idea became popular when psychology itself grew, especially with thinkers like Freud, who believed much of our behavior comes from the unconscious mind. So when a character keeps ruining their own life, a psychological reading doesn't say, bad writing, it says, unresolved inner struggle. Sometimes this approach even looks at the author, what emotions or experiences might be shaping the story. Because writing isn't just storytelling, it's expression. And here's the best part. This approach explains why certain stories hit us so deeply, why we feel connected to fictional people, why a character's loneliness feels personal, why their fear feels familiar. We don't just read stories, we recognize ourselves in them. Psychological criticism doesn't mean diagnosing characters or overanalyzing every sentence. It simply means asking why, instead of stopping at what. Why did this character act this way? What emotional force is driving them? Of course, if taken too far, every character starts sounding like they need therapy. But when used wisely, this approach adds depth, empathy, and realism to literature. So next time a character confuses you, don't judge too fast. Pause and ask what's happening inside their mind, because once you start reading stories this way, you don't just understand literature better, you understand people better too. And that's when books stop being just stories and start feeling like mirrors. Kindly subscribe my channel and share with your family and friends.